Hi everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Jennifer Ferreira.
My name is Mark Chalmers.
And we're from Planet Green, Strathroy, Caradoc. Planet Green Strathroy Caradoc actually was founded about a year and a half ago, and it is a new environmental group here in town that's meant to bring gentle awareness to the community. We want to do this by working with businesses, working with our neighbors, working with children, working with the town, and things are quite getting underway in this group.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. There's lots going on for sure. One exciting thing that we talk about and that we focused on is actually recycling. And today we're going to talk more about that. And actually, I went out to Bluewater Recycling earlier today, and I spoke with Francis, the president of the BRA. And I learned a lot. I found it really, really interesting with the new initiatives. We talked about the present of Bluewater Recycling, the future, also the past. And yeah, it was really interesting.
Funny that you were out busy today. I actually was meeting with Brad Richards, Deputy Mayor of Strathroy Caradoc, and also a board member of the Bluewater Recycling. And he has explained a little bit of the future changes coming in the recycling for Bluewater and what that could mean for Strathroy Caradoc. So it's an exciting time right now for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So we're going to take a quick break right now, and we'll be back soon with my tour of Bluewater Recycling. Hi everybody, this is Mark Chalmers from Planet Green. We're here in Huron Park at the Bluewater Recycling Association, and I'm joined today by Francis, the president of the BRA. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Mark.
Now, I admit it, I don't think a whole lot about what happens to my blue box once I put it out on the curb. So would you mind just letting us know what the Bluewater Recycling Association does?
Yeah, no problems at all. I mean, it's something that most people don't know about, and essentially, the Bluewater Recycling Association is a municipal cooperative that consists of 20 municipalities in southwestern Ontario that work together to share resources to provide waste diversion services, or recycling programs, if you want to call it that. We were created back in 1989 to do just that, to provide blue box programs, because private industry at the time wasn't interested in providing those types of services in the rural areas. We had started with about 7 municipalities, and over the years grew to the 20. When we got started, we incorporated as a nonprofit corporation. So we're actually owned by the municipalities that we service, and we don't have a goal to make money. It's actually our main goal is providing waste diversion. The service area that we have is pretty much from the Kitchener-Waterloo boundary to the Lake Huron, and to the north we start at about Palmerston and go down to south to about Dresden. So it's a fairly large area, but from there we have an operations in Huron Park, Ontario, which is near Exeter, and where we have our main processing facility and operate our fleet of vehicles and provide services to the 20 municipalities, including Strathroy Caradoc.
Okay. How good have you been at achieving your goals and objectives with recycling?
Well, I mean, our primary goal is waste diversion, and so we don't own or operate any landfills at all. So our main focus remains all the recycling programs that we have. So we have our core program, the Blue Box, that we started back in 1989, and still very vibrant in our package of portfolio programs today. Over the years, we also expanded into other areas. We did sell backyard composters at reduced price to residents. We also offered a variety of green cone digesters to manage the organic waste in the household. We also have always had a series of side programs to that, which include things like at one point we were doing hazardous waste programs. We did tire programs when there was issues with those. Today, the main thing that we do is electronic waste is a big thing, and we provide those services in a number of communities. And of course, we've always focused on education as well. It's been a very key part for us. And from the curriculum development that we've done back in 1992, where we had over 800 pages of curriculum going to all the schools, to the website that we manage today with over 1,500 pages, those things have been very key to us. So all those programs together and trying to achieve our goals to recycle as much as possible, our member municipalities, with the use of those and use of incentives like user pay, they've managed to divert anywhere between 60 to 80% of their waste, which is way ahead of everybody else in the province and ahead of the provincial targets. So we're certainly very proud of that. To give you an idea, I guess in the Strathroy-Caradoc area, there was a time when you disposed of all of your waste, and it was about 1,150 kilograms per household per year was going straight to landfill.
Mm-hmm.
Today, the average rural community in Ontario is about 550 kilograms that they dispose, and in Strathroy-Caradoc, you're disposing of about 350. So you've diverted about 70% of your waste, and we're certainly very proud of that.
Oh, that's great. Can you tell us a bit about the challenges that you faced here at VRA?
Well, with all this success and the growth over the years, there's always things that come up. When we look at our Blue Box program today, one of the issues we have is we've simply outgrown the Blue Box. If you can think about when we started the program 20 years ago, really the main intent of the Blue Box was to introduce the concept of recycling to the householder. We had 5 basic materials that could go in the Blue Box, and people did it. Today we have 17 materials going to the Blue Box. Most households have a second, sometimes a third Blue Box. Packaging is getting lighter and bigger. It's just overflowing. It's all over the place. So that's an issue for us. So it's time to rethink about maybe the collection model for that. We also have to think about kind of the next step. What's the next frontier for us? And what we see what's left in the garbage bag is about 58% organics. So we know we can do more there. So there's programs that we are working on to address that in the future. And then it's mixed with a variety of things, like the workforce that we have right now. We know is getting older. We have less drivers available. The type of work is very physical. Is there a way we can change that to make it easier in the future so we can maintain the programs we have now and keep the cost down?
Francis, can you tell us a bit about what you're doing to improve the rates of recycling in the area?
Well, for us, I mean, it's a continuous improvement process, so we never stop looking for new ways to try to recycle more. We went through a major review back in 2004 of all of our operations, all of our programs, to see where we were going to go next for the long term. And out of that review, we came out with key elements to improve recycling in the future. And we've undertaken a new strategic plan that started back in 2009. The first element that we implemented was a new material recovery facility here in Huron Park. For years, we'd operated in our industry what we call a two-stream facility. So when we collected materials at the curbside, we were collecting fibers or paper products together in containers together and processing them separately here and then selling the different commodities to the world. The new system we have uses the latest technology available in the world, and it allows us to collect all the recyclables mixed together. So all the papers and all the containers, plastics, metals, and everything can come all in one, and we bring it here. And using technology, we're actually able to separate all these different components, and then we use our people for quality control to actually generate a quality product that's higher quality than what we had before and lower residue rates. So we produce, to give you numbers, I guess, about a 98% purity rate for the material that comes out the door, and we have less than 3% of the material that actually leaves here as residue. So it's excellent process for us, and we're very proud of what's happened there. And what that does for us is it sets the foundation then to what we can do in the future. And so one of the very first things that we could do as a result of that is the expansion of new materials like we did in 2010. One of the materials that is growing exponentially is plastics. Things like clamshell containers that we never saw in the marketplace before are now prevalent everywhere, and they're growing at a rate that exceeds all other types of packaging. People wanted to see that. We're now able to recycle those. As a matter of fact, we're able to recycle 1 through 7 plastics except for the foam products. And so that made a huge difference. To give you an idea, we used to collect tubs and lids, and those were considered kind of a mixed plastic for us. And the increase in recyclable collection that we've received from adding to this other range is a 400% increase in plastics recycling in our facility. So that's huge in itself, and it gives us the possibility to do more in the future as markets develop for certain commodities. So very, very key element. But foremost, that foundation allows us then to really look at our collection system and come up with something better. And so this is what you're going to see. We started some key elements in the town of St. Mary's back in 2008, where we introduced what we call an automated collection program, using a cart and a different type of vehicle with a mechanical arm on it that collects those containers. And it's going to allow us to expand that program in other communities in the years to come.
Yeah, that's interesting. I see this container here. I've never seen this one before. Is this the container you're talking about? The new?
That's the in our collection system. This is going to be your new Blue Box.
Oh, okay.
And essentially,
I guess this is the old one here.
Yeah, that's a little smaller than the old
little
one
big,
there,
yeah.
so we certainly are totally changing that. One of the things that we have found is that the residents are running out of space in their blue boxes. They're sending it at the curb, and we're getting a lot of litter because material is just blowing out of the containers, and so they don't have room to be able to do more. And by providing them a larger container, so they have two sizes, this one here, which is a 65 gallon, or the one behind us, which is a 95 gallon. It's the equivalent of 4 to 6 blue boxes. So now you're providing lots of space, and we can take on new materials and manage them properly. The new containers also, as you can see, come with a lid on them. So it totally eliminates the litter problem that we've had with the current program now. So you don't see plastic bags rolling down the street, or even those new clamshells and things like that. So there's lots of room for that. They also come with wheels on them, so it's a lot easier for the residents to manage and just wheel them to the curb. They come with instructions on the front. And just by sheer having capacity for the residents to recycle, we've seen an improvement in recycling rates. So in every community where we've implemented the wheelie bin system, which is what we call this, we've seen an improvement anywhere between 17 to 33% in the recycling rate.
Wow, that's great. And yes. I guess it would be hard for the animals to get into as well.
It definitely, yeah. It keeps all the vermins out of there, so that you don't get raccoons or any of the birds getting in there.
Yeah.
It keeps it nice and clean. You go on a collection day, and your street is clean before collection, and it's just as clean after collection. They kind of stand on the curbside like little soldiers. We also because we can manage those a little better, we also improve the level of service as a street collection, so the residents don't have to walk across the street with their containers in urban areas, at least.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, I'm a bit of a gadget guy, so can you tell me a bit more about the new trucks that would be used to actually pick these things up?
No, certainly. Yeah, we don't pick those up and empty them by hand like we do the blue box now. It would be very difficult. But what it allows us, by giving the residents these types of containers and keeping in mind that it's the same kind of containers that we can use for future programs, like for organics or for waste, that we can do. So now that we have a standardized container, we can use a specialized vehicle to collect those containers. And it's not a new concept. It's a concept called automated collection, but it started back in Arizona back in 1969, and with a truck called Godzilla back then. And ever since we started operation, we've always monitored the development of that technology, and truly in the last 10 years, it's really come to a level where we feel comfortable with it, and so we've decided to move ahead. And what it is you have a vehicle that has a mechanical arm on the side that actually can reach out 12 feet, grab that container, and empty it inside the body of the vehicle and set it back exactly where we picked it up.
Cool.
And it's very, very efficient. The driver never has to get out of the truck. They just operate a little joystick. So all of a sudden our workforce can be male, female, it could be 25 to 65, it doesn't matter. We can use a variety of people. Nobody's getting hurt, so we don't have people going home on disability. And every time we collect those containers, we're collecting more material because they have more capacity. And we're doing very, very well. It's a very quick program. To give you an idea, we're able to collect about 180 of those containers an hour versus about 80 on a manual system.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a huge improvement for us. It's a huge leap forward. It's a huge capital investment, but the return in safety and increasing recycling are well worth it for us.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks again for joining us today, Francis. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah, this has been really interesting. I know I've learned a lot more about recycling and what you guys do here, so that's great. So we're going to take another quick break, and then we will be at Town Hall with my co-host Jennifer Ferreira, who will be talking to Brad Richards about the future of recycling within Strathroy-Caradoc. So stick around.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Ferreira from Planet Green, Strathroy-Caradoc. And today I'm with Brad Richards, Deputy Mayor in Strathroy-Caradoc Town Hall. How are you, Brad?
I'm good, Jen. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us. One thing you may not know, Brad is the Deputy Mayor, but he's also a board member with the Bluewater Recycling. Can you tell us how that happened and your role at the Bluewater Recycling?
Sure, Jen. I was asked by our former Mayor Mel at the time that we needed a rep to sit on the Bluewater board, and he wanted to know if I would be willing to do that, and I said, well, I'm probably the worst guy to ask for recycling, But I said yes, I would take that challenge on and learn my best. And actually, it's been wonderful. I've learned so much, and now I'm really energized, and I want to make this thing happen. So at the time you get appointed, you're a town rep, but then you can actually get appointed to the board by a vote of your peers, and that's what happened. I got on the board. It's been about 5 years now, and it's been simply a great time because we've gone through all the changes. The plant 20 years ago had all the old equipment, all been modernized. I mean, it was a vision of President Francis, which I think you heard about earlier in the show. And his vision was brought to the board. The board agreed with the direction he wanted to take Bluewater, which was great. And now it's all been modernized. We have new technology in the plant. The speed at which everything is recycled is so much better. The finished product is so much higher quality. So when we sell the products, it's much better. The health and safety for the workers is even better because inside the plant it's so much easier now. They're just quality control people. So it's been great from that point of view, and that's kind of where it's gone. It's called a one-stream recycling plant now, and added to that now is what's happening in the future now is the automated trucks. And I think you also seen a sample of that in your first segment. That's coming. It's in St. Mary's now. It will be going in Goderich and then coming hopefully Strathroy-Caradoc in the future. But that's really, again, saving the health and safety of the drivers. Because in the past, imagine the driver had to get out of the truck every stop, and you've probably seen it in your own community. They've got out, have to throw the bags in the back of the truck, which are sometimes pretty heavy. They had to get back up, climb back up into that truck, which I know we've had lots of injuries from slippages on the steps when the ice and that. All that is gone with the automated trucks. The person doesn't get out of the truck. It's all done by joystick, again, as you've seen. So the drivers are totally happy with the system, and from a health and safety point of view, it's the right thing to do. So it's been exciting times being a board member and representing our community, and I think it's great for our community people because we're all part of that as a Bluewater member. So we're a shareholder of the company, which is great.
Oh, I never knew that. For 5 years now, you've been a board member, and I hear that they've just received a prestigious award. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. There's a group in North America. It's a recycling group, and once a year, I guess they check out all the the locations and that's doing recycling, all the plants for all their modernization, who's done what, and they've been, and Bluewater has been recognized with what they call a silver award, and that's for increasing your technology, advances in recycling, which is great because now we can recycle more. We've taken on new products with all the new type of containers now that we can recycle that we couldn't before, and so being recognized is a great achievement. I think in North America, as we're up against certainly a lot of bigger plants than Bluewater, but Bluewater held its own very well, and I'm proud to say we won that award. So I think hats off to President Francis for having that vision of this new direction, the board for voting for that vision and making it happen with him. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to the staff up there because they're the ones that live and bleed Bluewater. They're the ones that make it happen, that we can all be so proud of, from the inside workers to the drivers to all the staff completely. So congratulations to all the Bluewater and all the shareholders, which are all the communities in southwestern Ontario. That's really important because as a town council member, you get elected, you want to do the best for your community. And when you see something like this happening that you've been part of, you can say, well, wow, we're going in the right direction. And believe me, I do think this is the right direction for our community.
That's great. Congratulations to everybody for that. Now, you touched a little bit about the changes coming in the recycling program. Can you expand a little bit more on that, what it means to you as a board member, and then what it means for Strathroy-Caradoc?
Well, again, it's been exciting as a board member. It's a challenge to institute it to all the communities because every community is different. Strathroy community is very urban in Strathroy, especially. We have the rural in Caradoc, but Strathroy is very urbanized, which takes a different idea to do that than out in the country. So having said that, it is possible to do. It's going to take, the challenge will be there, but I think it can be done in Strathroy-Caradoc. It'll mean no bag tags probably, which is great. Everybody will be getting the wheelie bins, or the cart bins, whatever you want to call them. And again, I think you've seen that earlier in the other segment. That's important because all your garbage goes in there. There's protection while it's in there. Oh, by the way, you don't need garbage bags. You can put it straight in there. So there's a cost savings from your bag tags to your garbage bags that you won't need.
Would we be having to pay for the wheelie bins?
No, the bins will be all produced to one household each.
Okay.
You'll get a recycling bin and a garbage bin right now. Down the road, the hope is that we will be able to add organics down the road. I know that's the latest board initiative right now, is to look into organics. I think that will be here in the next few years, but we're not there yet. But that at least that's good news, because again, if you take that out of the stream of garbage, along with all the recycling, boy, we're starting to really make a difference at the landfill. And that bottom line thing of the whole thing is what can we save at the landfill site?
Oh, for sure. And we have a lot of our members constantly asking us about getting some of that food waste happening in the community. So it's great to see that.
Well, I'm proud to say I think that day is coming, which is great.
That's awesome.
But it will be a change to our residents, and I know the Strathroy Council will be talking about that in the near future. But again, there'll be no bag tag at some point. There will have to be a charge for garbage. Nothing changes in that fact. It's just the how-to.
Yeah, for sure. So once you bring this to council, what kind of time frame would you be looking at for Strathroy Caradoc if it passes?
Sure, and I think the rest of this year, 2011, I think we'll be talking about just the process and whether council agrees that this is right for us or not. That'll be the huge decision we made this year. My hope is that, and I think our staff hope is, that perhaps in 2012 sometime, and kind of looking ahead in the crystal ball, I would envision probably fall of 2012 would be the time frame that we would want to roll this out in. And assuming if that was to happen, Bluewater would start an education program in the community, as they do in all the other communities that we serve, to teach people what the bins mean, how to use them. There's a label on the lid that really explains it quite well, but again, it's a learning curve because it's a change. Bluewater does all that for us at no cost to the community. They will deliver the bins directly to your home at no cost to Strathroy. So those are all certainly big pluses for us. And at the end of the day, there'll be a time date set, and away we go, and you'll be wheeling them out to the road.
Well, that's great. I can't wait for that. It sounds like it'll be here before we know it.
Well, thanks again for joining us. I'm Mark Chalmers.
And I'm Jennifer Ferreira.
For Planet Green. I learned a lot today. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to the changes coming to Strathroy Caradoc.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting for sure.
Thank you to Bluewater Recycling for letting us tour their facilities.
And Brad Richards for letting us interview him. Yeah. And thanks again for watching.